In 1822, people in London bought bonds of a new country. They bought land there, too. Families packed their bags. Ships sailed across the ocean. There was just one problem. The country did not exist. This is the story of how one man sold an imaginary nation and became rich. To understand this story, we need to go back to London in the early 1800s. The Napoleonic Wars had just ended, Britain had won, and Britain was rich. But there was a problem. Money was everywhere, but good investments were not. British government bonds were called consols. They were safe, but they paid only 3% interest. For wealthy investors, that felt boring. So people started looking elsewhere. They searched for higher returns. At the same time, something exciting was happening far away. Spain's empire in Latin America was collapsing. New countries were being born: Mexico, Colombia, Peru, Chile. These young nations needed money, and London investors wanted yield. This was the perfect moment for a story, and the perfect moment for a lie. Enter Gregor MacGregor. He was Scottish. He was confident. He wore fine clothes, and he called himself a general. MacGregor had actually fought in South America. He had connections, he had credibility, and most importantly, he had imagination. MacGregor returned to London with shocking news. He claimed he was the ruler, the cacique, of a country called Poyais. Poyais was said to be in Central America, on the Mosquito Coast, near today's Honduras. But this was not just a claim, it was a complete fantasy. MacGregor did not sell a story, he sold a system. He opened a Poyaisian embassy in London. He printed official documents. He published guidebooks. These books showed maps, banks, an opera house, a parliament, and a deep water harbor. Everything a real country should have. Then came the money. MacGregor issued Poyais government bonds. British consuls paid 3%. Poyais bonds paid 6%. Double the return. Same paper, same promises. Twice the money. Investors rushed in. The bond issue raised about £200,000, a massive sum at the time. MacGregor also sold land, 4 shillings per acre, cheap enough for ordinary families. People were not just investing, they were planning new lives. But here was the trick. MacGregor paid early bond interest using money from new investors. There was no economy, no taxes, no country, just cash flowing in. This looked like a government bond, but it worked like a Ponzi scheme. Then came the worst part. MacGregor sent people there. 2 ships left Britain, the Honduras Packet and the Kinnersley Castle. About 250 settlers were on board. Men, women, children. They believed in Poyais. When they arrived, there was nothing. No city, no port, no buildings. Only jungle, swamps, mosquitoes, disease. The country did not exist, but the suffering did. Malaria spread quickly. Food ran out. People died. More than 180 settlers never came back. The survivors were eventually rescued, and the truth reached London. Poyais bonds collapsed. Their price fell to near zero. Investors were ruined. Families were destroyed, and MacGregor had already escaped. Incredibly, he tried again. In France in 1825. He repeated the same story, the same country, the same lie. He was arrested, but he was acquitted. There were no strong financial regulations, no clear fraud laws for fake countries. The system failed again. Gregor MacGregor eventually retired to Venezuela. He received military honors. He died respected. Most of his victims were forgotten. The Poyais fraud teaches us something important. When money is cheap, people chase yield. When people chase yield, they ignore risk. And when regulation is weak, stories become weapons. This was not just a scam. It was a preview of every financial bubble to come. If you want to understand money, don't just study numbers. Study history. Because the biggest financial mistakes are rarely new. They are repeated. This is money through time.